Well, hi there, everyone. Welcome to the third week of Smash the Answer, here in another week of lockdown. So, there's going to probably be a few more Smash the Answer quizzes as well after this, I'd imagine, as well as my normal Tuesday quizzes as well. Tuesday pub quiz, which is 8 pm on Tuesday, which is more of a pub quiz style. If you want any more information on that, you can either subscribe to me here or follow on Twitter. You might have seen the instructions for this quiz as well. It's quite quick fire. It's very similar to Answer Smash that's on Richard Osman's House of Games, basically taking two answers and combining them together to make one answer. There's 10 rounds of 5 questions in each category, and then we'll have a little 2-minute break after 5 rounds, just so you can have a stretch, go and get a drink, etc., etc., and then 5 rounds at the end. Each question is just marked straight after the question there, so it's not like you need a pen and paper. Just keep an idea of what you've scored if you're playing in teams, but we'll go through each individual question and give the answer straight after that. So if we get straight on with the quiz, I'll give an example question here just in case anybody hasn't seen the examples that were scrolling earlier. So in this example, you have to look at the picture. What picture is that? And then also, you have a question on the right. What is the name of the donkey in the Winnie the Pooh series of books? So you'd have a chimpanzee, and the donkey is called Eeyore. So the answer that we'd be looking for is chimpanzee-or. Chimpanzee-or. So that combines the two answers there to make the one answer smashed together that is the answer we're looking for. Now, I'll leave live chat on in the background of this as well, so if you want to make any comments. So it's quite quick fire as well, but as ever, just be nice on those comments as well. And if I've made any mistakes in the questions or the answers, then I apologise for that. Most of the information's come off the internet. As I say, it's just for fun. So if everyone's ready, we'll get on with round one. And round one this week is animals. So the first question, animals. What is an American dessert made of lime juice, egg yolks, and sweetened condensed milk in a pie crust? And then you combine that with the animal on the left, combine the two answers to get the answer that we want. Now, I'm not going to put a timer on any of these questions, so I'm just going to leave it a little bit of time, however long I think each one might need. And we'll move on through. I'm not going to repeat them too much, try and keep it quite quick fire. Obviously, some of you will get the answers straight away, but just because it's live, we'll hold on a little bit longer to see how everyone else gets on. So the first answer for this is donkey lime pie. Donkey lime pie. So you can see how we get them along there. Combining donkey and key lime pie, donkey lime pie. So they're all the same as that. Moving on to the second one in animals. Who is seen asleep on his boat as the end credits roll during the children's show in the Night Garden? Who is seen asleep on his boat as the end credits roll during the children's show in the Night Garden? So you've got to know what the animal is and the character from in the Night Garden. Combine the two and you get the answer. A few seconds more on these ones just to start with. I'll give a bit more time before we get the hang of things. And the answer to this one is Guinea Piggle Piggle. Guinea Pig and Iggle Piggle. So it's Guinea Piggle Piggle. Question 3 in animals. Who is best known for working alongside Declan Donnelly as part of presenting duo Ant and Dec? Who is best known for working alongside Declan Donnelly as part of presenting duo Ant and Dec? So animal on the left, answer to the question on the right combined. And you get Pheasant McPartlin. Pheasant McPartlin. Penultimate one in the animals round. Which American girl group comprises Nicole Scherzinger, Karmit Bashar, Ashley Roberts, Jessica Sutter, Melody Thornton, and Kimberly Wyatt? Combine that with the animal on the left. Now, you might not know the group necessarily. This is how the quiz sometimes works, but you might know the animal, and therefore thinking, what could be the group that starts with the end letters of that animal? And the answer to this one is duck-billed platypussycat dolls. Duck-billed platypussycat dolls. So, last one in the animals category. The main features of which dance are the vigorous manipulation of skirts and petticoats, along with high kicks, splits, and cartwheels? Which dance involves high kicks, splits, and cartwheels, and manipulation of the skirt? Combine that with the animal. And the answer to that one is Pelican Can. Pelican and the Can. Pelican Can. So that's the first category over, so we're doing quite quick for time here, but we'll move straight into the second category, famous buildings, and the first one is: what is a celebration observed in many countries on 31st October, the eve of the Western Christian feast of All Hallows Day? All Hallows Day? What's celebrated on the eve of that? Again, just leave you a little bit of time there. Building on the left combined with the answer on the right. And the answer to that one is Taj Mahalloween. Taj Mahalloween. Second one, in famous buildings. Not really a building as such, but still. What is it when you roughly calculate or judge the value, number, quantity, or extent of something? What do you call it when you roughly calculate or judge the value, number, quantity, or extent of something? What's the picture on the left? And it blends in with the answer on the right. And the answer to that one is Mount Everestimate. Mount Everestimate. Moving on, back to buildings. Which soft drink, popular in the 80s, was sold with a strapline that "They drink it in the Congo"? What soft drink, popular in the 80s, was sold with a strapline that "They drink it in the Congo"? So the building's probably fairly obvious. The drink, perhaps not so. Always worth a guess, though. And the answer to this one is Colosseum Bongo. Colosseum Bongo. Moving on, in the famous buildings, what is an American business and employment-oriented service that operates via websites and mobile apps, founded December 8th to 28th, 2002? An American business and employment service operates via websites, an employment website, or an employment-oriented website. If you know the building on the left, it might help more than the question. And the answer to this one is the Kremlington. The Kremlington. One more building to come. What, in Tex-Mex and Mexican cuisine, is any grilled meat dish that is usually served as a taco on a flour or corn tortilla? What, in Mexican cuisine, is a meat dish that is usually served on a flour or corn tortilla? Guessing the building on the left, the very impressive building on the left. Merge it with the question on the right. And just to keep things moving along, the answer to this is the Burj Khalifa heater. The Burj Khalifa heater. So that's the end of that category. We now move on to country flags. Basically, guess the country by its flag will be the answer to the picture on the left. Combine it with the answer on the right. What is a versatile farm machine designed to efficiently harvest a variety of grain crops? What is a versatile farm machine designed to efficiently harvest a variety of grain crops? Flag of the country, or the name of the country, sorry, from the flag on the left. Now that flag may have come up in a question in one of the quizzes last week, if you don't know the country straight away. Or you might know the answer to the farm machine and work back to think which country could possibly end with the start of that. A little bit longer for this first one. And the answer to that is Mexicombine Harvester. Mexicombine Harvester. Second one in countries' flags is: who is a Welsh comic and writer best known for her collaborations with Peter Kay, including starring in and co-writing the comedy series Peter Kay's Car Share? Who is best known for her collaborations with Peter Kay, including writing or co-writing the comedy series Peter Kay's Car Share? A couple more seconds on that. Again, spellings as ever not that important. As long as you get the answer roughly right, then it's points for that. And the answer to this one is Rushan Gibson. Rushan Gibson. Russia and Sean Gibson. Next country's flag is there, and the question is, what is a British patriotic song originating from a poem by James Thomson and set to music by Thomas Arne in 1740? It is strongly associated with the Royal Navy. So again, which one's easier there? If you don't know both straight away, which one's easier? The answer to the question or the flag? Always worth a guess. If you know half of it, you can try and work out the other half, the remaining half. A couple more seconds on this one. And the answer to that one is Perule Britannia. Perule Britannia. Peru and Rule Britannia. Second last one in flags. What is another name for Shrove Tuesday, the day before Ash Wednesday? What is another name for Shrove Tuesday, the day before Ash Wednesday? Hopefully quite easy this one, so I'll move straight on. Japancake Day. Japancake Day. Last one in the country flags. What is a gold-covered wooden chest with lid cover described in the Book of Exodus as containing the 2 stone tablets of the 10 Commandments? What is a gold-covered wooden chest described as containing the 10 Commandments? And then match that with the flag on the left. So again, on this one, you might know the answer to the question. Try and think in which country could that possibly be that blends in with that. Again, spelling not that important on this one, but the answer to this is Denmark of the Covenant. Denmark of the Covenant. So that's the end of the country's flags. Now move into car manufacturers. In this one, you'll see a picture of a car. It's the manufacturer. It's not the model of the car we need, it's the manufacturer. So if you saw, which you won't, but if you saw a Citroen C4, it would be Citroen we're looking for, not C4. So the first question in car manufacturers is, what is a secret organisation in the Harry Potter series of books founded by Albus Dumbledore to fight Lord Voldemort and his followers? What is an organisation in Harry Potter founded by Albus Dumbledore to fight Lord Voldemort and his followers? So if you can guess the manufacturer of the car, which might be quite easy, just thinking what Harry Potter term or phrase might blend in from that. And the answer to this one is Forder of the Phoenix. Forder of the Phoenix. Go straight on to question 2, and that is, which TV show follows the staff of the clothing departments in the flagship department store of a fictional chain called Grace Brothers? That's a comedy show, BBC, following the staff of the clothing department in the flagship department store Grace Brothers. An old show as well, an old TV comedy. Slightly longer answer this as well if you are writing them down, so I'll just leave a second. And the answer to this one is Jaguar You Being Served. Jaguar You Being Served. Halfway through the car manufacturers round, who is a comic reporter and detective adventurer who travels around the world with his dog Snowy? Who is a comic reporter and detective adventurer who travels around the world with his dog Snowy? I mean, it says comic reporter, it means in comics or cartoons. Slightly older car there on the left, slightly old manufacturer. And the answer to this one is Austin. Austin and Tintin. 2 to go in the car manufacturers category. What is a song sung by Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz that won the Academy Award for Best Original Song? What is a song sung by Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz that won the Academy Award for Best Original Song? So if you can guess the manufacturer of the car and then combine it with the song. And the answer to that one is Range Rover the Rainbow. Range Rover the Rainbow. One more to go in the car manufacturer's round, and that is, what is an illuminated optical, typically slender and tubular instrument used to look deep into the body? What is an illuminated optical, typically slender and tubular instrument used to look deep into the body? Link that in with the manufacturer of the car on the left. And then combine it with the answer on the right. And the answer to that one is Volkswagendoscope. Volkswagendoscope. So that's the end of that category. Now coming to the politicians category. 5 questions in this one, and then we'll have a short 2-minute break, and then there'll be 5 more rounds after that. I'll leave the live chat open as well if anyone wants to put any comments or any scores. So the maximum you got from these 5 rounds will be 25. So first question in politicians. What is a tall wooden pole erected as a part of various European folk festivals around which a dance often takes place? A wooden pole around which a dance often takes place. Combine that with a politician. And the answer to that one is Theresa Maypole. Theresa Maypole. Next politician. Also known as the Avtomat Kalashnikova, what is a gas-operated assault rifle developed in the Soviet Union? Also known as the Avtomat Kalashnikova, what is a gas-operated assault rifle developed in the Soviet Union? That's a while back, the Soviet Union. But a slightly modern politician. Combine the two. Just leave that a second more. It's a slightly trickier one, this. And the answer to that one is Rishi Sunak 47. Rishi Sunak 47. Rishi Sunak 47. Third one in the politicians one, an old politician as well. Apologise for that if you've no idea about old politicians. But what is the common name given to the illegal goal scored by Argentinian footballer Maradona in the quarter-final match between England and Argentina at the 1986 World Cup? What is the name given to the goal illegally scored by Argentinian footballer Maradona in the 86 World Cup? Combine that with the politician. Certainly not a modern politician. And the answer to that one is James Callaghan of God, or Jim Callaghan of God. James Callaghan and the Hand of God. 2 to go in the politics round, and 2 to go before we have a little break. Back to more modern politicians, hopefully recognisable a bit more. What is the amount of time somebody works beyond normal working hours? The term is also used for the pay received for this time. What is the amount of time someone works beyond normal working hours? The term is also used for the pay received for this time. Certainly a more modern politician, been seen on our screens a lot recently. And the answer to this one is Michael Gove-time. Michael Gove-time. So last question in the politics round, and the last question before we have a little 2-minute break. Let's have a stretch of the legs, get yourself a drink, etc., etc. What was a communication satellite from the 60s that relayed television pictures and telephone calls through space? What was a communication satellite from the 60s that relayed television pictures and telephone calls through space? Again, a modern politician. We've seen her a couple of times, perhaps not as much as we should, on TV recently. Give you a couple of seconds more because the break is coming up. And the answer to that one is Priti Patel Star. Priti Patel and Telstar, the satellite. Priti Patel Star. So that's the first 5 rounds over. We'll now have a quick 2-minute break just for you to have a stretch, get a drink, let the dog out, etc. etc. I'll pop a timer on and we'll come back live in 2 minutes. See you in a bit. Okay, everyone, welcome back. Hopefully that 2-minute break allows you to have a little stretch, do what we have to do, but we'll go back in. There's 5 more rounds to go, and then we can see what the total scores were. So hopefully you've got out of 25 so far. If anyone got over 20, then that's a good score. But another 5 rounds to go, 5 points each, so another potential 25 points available. So we're straight in with round 6, which is cheeses. First one in cheeses is... What word means being condemned to eternal punishment in hell? Which word means being condemned to eternal punishment in hell? I'll just leave a few seconds on this one just to get people refreshed, or if anyone's just coming back from their 2-minute break. Okay, and the answer to this one is edamnation. Edamnation. So edam and damnation. Second one in the cheese category is, what common phrase is used to describe a person unable to perceive differences of musical pitch accurately? A common phrase used to describe someone who is unable to perceive differences of musical pitch accurately. What's the cheese on the left? Combine it with the answer on the right, as ever. And we get still tone deaf. Still tone deaf. Third one in the cheese category is, who is the mascot of the Bassett company that produces licorice all sorts? Who is the mascot of the Bassett company that produces licorice all sorts? Cheese on the left combined with that answer on the right. Again, spellings on this, perhaps not that important if there is a problem with it. But the answer to this one, and this is my favourite for the quiz this week, Camembert Basset. Camembert Basset. On to the penultimate one in the cheese round. Which 1979 disco song by the Village People was covered by Pet Shop Boys in 1993? Which song by the Village People was covered in 1993 by Pet Shop Boys? Combine that with the cheese on the left. As ever, spelling not that important. The answer is the important thing. And the answer to this one is Manchego West. Manchego West. Last one, thankfully, in the cheese category is: who was an American jazz singer, sometimes referred to as the First Lady of Song or Queen of Jazz? Which American jazz singer was referred to as the First Lady of Song or Queen of Jazz? And the answer to that one is Mozzarella Fitzgerald. Mozzarella Fitzgerald. So the cheese round comes to an end, and we move on to musical instruments. First one in this round is: what is the name of the police box that Doctor Who travels around space and time in? What is the name of the police box that Doctor Who travels around space and time in? A couple of seconds more. We'll try and keep it flowing along. These usually last about 40 minutes, these quizzes, so it passes the time of day. And the answer to this one is guitardis. Guitar and TARDIS. Guitardis. Second one in the musical instruments. Oh, long one there. What is a shrub that boasts pretty heart-shaped leaves and yellow or pink flowers, but the stem is covered in tiny stiff hairs that release stinging chemicals when touched? What is a shrub with flowers that is covered in tiny stiff hairs that release stinging chemicals when touched? That's probably the important part of the clue. And the answer to this one is a clarinettle. A clarinettle. Moving on to the next musical instrument. Who is an American professional tennis player? She has won 23 Grand Slam singles titles, the most by any man or woman in the Open era. American tennis player, she has won 23 Grand Slam titles, the most by any man or woman in the Open era. Combine that with the instrument on the left. And the answer to this one is synthesize Serena Williams. Synthesizer and Serena Williams combined. Synthesize Serena Williams. 2 to go in the musical instruments. And this one is: what was a BBC television drama set in Ireland? The original story revolved around a young English Roman Catholic priest as he became part of a rural community. Again, an old-ish series. BBC television drama involving an English Roman Catholic priest as he became part of a rural community. Spelling not important on this one, if there's any possible typos. And the answer to this one is Cymbally Kiss Angel. Cymbally Kiss Angel. Cymbal and Bally Kiss Angel. Last one in the musical instruments round. Which was the 21st James Bond film released in 2006, starring Daniel Craig and Eva Green? Which was the 21st James Bond film released in 2006, combined with the instruments on the left? And the answer to that one is Maracasino Royale. Maracasino Royale. So that's combining Maracas and Casino Royale. So that's the end of the musical instruments round. Now we come into metals. First question in the metals category is: in the TV series, first aired in the 50s, who was the sidekick of Pinky the Pig? In the TV series, who was the sidekick of Pinky the Pig? So even if you don't know the series back from the 50s, you might be able to make a good guess, perhaps. Pinky the Pig's colleague. The answer, when combined, is Copperky. Copperky the Pig. Second one in metals. Having been first established in 793 AD, Ye Old Fighting Cock's pub in St Albans holds what record in the Guinness Book of World Records? Having been first established back in 793 AD, pub holds what record in the Guinness Book of Records? Metal's quite easy, so what does it lead into on the right? And the answer to that is Goldest Pub in England. Goldest Pub in England. Next one in the metal category. Who is an English television and radio presenter who, after finishing in 5th place in the 9th series of The X Factor, went on to win Celebrity Big Brother 11? Who is an English television and radio presenter, finishing 5th in the 9th series of The X Factor, but went on to win Celebrity Big Brother 11? And again, we might allow for typos on this, on someone's name. And the answer to this one is Mercuryland Clark Neal. Mercuryland Clark Neal. 2 to go in the metals category. What is very fine, long strands of pasta, like a skinny spaghetti, often used in soups? The name means little worms in Italian. The name means little worms in Italian. Combining that with the metal on the left. And just a second more, and spellings, as ever, not that important. And the answer to this one is Silvermicelli. Silvermicelli. Last one in the metals round. Which Austrian city hosted the 1964 Winter Olympics? Which Austrian city hosted the 1964 Winter Olympics? What's the item on the left, or what's the metal it's made out of, or colloquially known as? And how can that combine with an Austrian city? How many Austrian cities does anyone know? And the answer to this one is Tinsbruck. Tin and Innsbruck. Tinsbruck. So, move on to food and drink. There's just 2 more categories to go to the end of the quiz. First question in food and drink is: what is a historic county town in Suffolk, England? It is located in East Anglia, about 10 miles away from the mouth of the River Orwell. Combine that with the food on the left, with a town in Suffolk. Leave that a little bit longer. And the answer to that one is Chipswich. Chips in Ipswich makes Chipswich. Second one in food and drink. The ailment lumbago is more commonly known as. The ailment lumbago is more commonly known as. So a few things to get here. Get the food and drink item on the left, and then understand what lumbago is, and then combine it with its more common name. So I'll give a few more seconds on this one. Quite a tricky one, this one. Okay, I think we'll move on. The answer to this one is cauliflower back pain. Cauliflower back pain. So it's cauliflower and lower back pain combined together. As I say, that was a tricky one. So we'll move on to the third one in food and drink. What is a song by Swedish Eurodance group Rednecks featuring banjos and fiddles? What is a song by the group Rednecks that featured banjos and fiddles? Combine that with the fruit on the left. I think the song is one you either know or you don't. You probably couldn't even guess it if you knew what the fruit is as well. So we'll give the answer to that one. The answer is Apricot and I Joe. Apricot and I Joe. 2 to go in food and drink. Penultimate one is: who was a major figure of the Cuban Revolution? His stylized visage has become a ubiquitous symbol of rebellion and global insignia in popular culture. It's a long way of saying who was in the Cuban Revolution and whose face is very popular in popular culture. Combine that with the food on the left. Again, spelling on this one can be overlooked as long as the answer's fairly obvious. And the answer to this one is Che Guevara. Che Guevara. Moving on to the last one in the food and drink category, which is: in golf, also known as an ace, what is the name for when a ball is hit directly from the tee and ends up in the hole? In golf, what is the name for when a ball is hit directly from the tee and ends up in the hole? This is the last one in the food and drink category, then one more round after this, so we're keeping to time quite well. The answer to this one, the last one in the food and drink category, is Toad in the Hole in One. Toad in the Hole in One. So we'll move on to the last category, which this week is household items. First one in the category is: what is a British luxury car and aero engine manufacturing business established in 1904 by the partnership of two men called Charles and Henry? A luxury car business established by two men called Charles and Henry. And the answer to this one is Remote Controls Royce. Remote Controls Royce. Second one in household items is: which 1989 film plot involves the story of an inventor who accidentally shrinks his own and his next door neighbour's children to a quarter of an inch? Which 89 film involves the story of an inventor who shrinks both his and his neighbour's children to a quarter of an inch? And the answer to that one is Telephony, I Shrunk the Kids. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Third one in the household items category. Born in 1973, who is a British-Irish television presenter on ITV and a radio presenter on Radio 2, who is perhaps best known for being the presenter of X Factor? Who's the TV presenter we're on about there, combined with the household item on the left? A couple more seconds on that one. And that is Blendermot O'Leary. Blendermot O'Leary. 2 to go in the round and 2 to go in the quiz. In Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, who is a greedy, demanding, stingy, spoiled brat who demands every single thing she wants and is the second person to find a golden ticket? Who in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a spoiled brat demanding everything she wants and was the second person to find a golden ticket? A couple more seconds and more on that one. How many characters are there in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory you can name? But the one we're looking for, combined with the household item, is Sivaruka salt. Sivaruka salt. So only one more question to go in the round and the quiz, and it's a long question. Which Guy Ritchie film has a heist involving a young card player who loses £500,000 to a powerful crime lord in a rigged game of three-card brag? To pay off his debts, he and his friends decide to rob a small-time gang who happen to be operating out of the flat next door. Long question. I think just which Guy Ritchie film involves cards, heist, robbery, combined with the household item on the left. And the answer to that one was Grandfather Clock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Grandfather Clock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. So that's the end of the 10 rounds and the end of the quiz. So there's a maximum of 50 points on there. I'll leave the live chat up for a bit as well if anyone wants to add any comments or write down what their score was, just so we can know how easy or how difficult it was. Anything as ever 40 plus is a good score. Anything 45 plus, absolutely brilliant. But do write any comments there. I'll leave that for 5-10 minutes more live on screen, so you can add some comments, or if there's any rounds or any categories that you'd like on next week. I'll keep carrying on this quiz all the time on lockdown, which seems to be going on for a few more weeks. So you can look for other quizzes that I do, either by looking on this YouTube channel or following me on Twitter. I do other small quizzes, and then a large quiz on Tuesday, the major pub quiz, 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights. But that's it for now. Like I say, leave some comments. I hope you all did well. Stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers now.